Antoine Fuqua's Tears of the Sun, released in 2003, is a war film draped in the aesthetics of an action thriller, yet beneath its gunfire and tactical maneuvers lies a meditation on duty, virtue, and the moral burden of leadership. The story takes place in war-torn Nigeria, where a violent military coup has overthrown the government. A ruthless rebel force, primarily composed of ethnic militants, is carrying out mass executions, plunging the country into chaos. As villages are burned and civilians are slaughtered, the U.S. Navy SEAL team, led by Lieutenant A.K. Waters, portrayed by Bruce Willis, is deployed to extract Dr. Lena Kendricks, played by Monica Bellucci, an American doctor aiding refugees. However, the mission becomes more than just an extraction, as the soldiers are confronted with the brutal realities of war and the moral duty to protect innocent lives amidst the collapse of a nation. What begins as a straightforward mission evolves into an ethical crucible, forcing Waters to confront a deeper sense of responsibility beyond the cold directives of his orders.
Non ci credo, non è possibile, come fa a non capire?
From a Stoic perspective, Tears of the Sun is an allegory of virtue under fire. Marcus Aurelius wrote in Meditations, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." Waters embodies this shift. Initially detached and pragmatic, he views the mission as a mere objective: retrieve the doctor, leave the refugees. But as he witnesses the horror of war, his perception transforms. He chooses to act in accordance with justice, or dikaiosune, rather than the convenience of obedience. The film presents war not as a battlefield of mere tactics, but as a test of moral endurance. The SEALs, highly trained and lethal, could have walked away. But in choosing to escort the refugees, they embrace the Stoic principle of katakanta, appropriate actions dictated by virtue, not fear. The enemy is ruthless, the odds overwhelming, yet they fight not for victory, but because it is the right thing to do. Lieutenant Waters begins as a man focused solely on completing his mission. However, true Stoicism is not about suppressing emotion, but about directing it toward noble ends. As he witnesses the massacre of civilians and the resilience of Dr. Kendricks, his moral compass realigns. Like Cato the Younger, who stood against tyranny despite the inevitability of defeat, Waters accepts a path of resistance, knowing it may cost him everything. His transformation is subtle, yet profound. He shifts from an indifferent executor of orders to a leader who acknowledges that duty extends beyond the battlefield. This echoes Epictetus. It is not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. The film's climax is a bloody, brutal ordeal, where the SEALs hold their ground in a final stand. Some perish, but their deaths are not in vain. They die upholding their duty. This reflects the Stoic indifference to fortune. Whether one survives or falls, what matters is whether one has lived virtuously. As Seneca said, "Sometimes even to live is an act of courage." Waters, by the end, is no longer just a soldier. He is a man who has confronted fate with reason, action, and moral resolve. He understands that true strength is not in weapons, but in the will to uphold justice, even when it demands sacrifice. Tears of the Sun goes beyond being just an action film. It delves into the theme of Stoic virtue in the midst of chaos. It asks, what is duty? What is courage? What is the measure of a man when faced with suffering? The answer, as the Stoics teach, is found not in survival or conquest, but in the unwavering commitment to what is right. It is a film that, like a well-honed philosophy, leaves us with one final question. When the moment of decision comes, will you do what is easy, or will you do what is right? Thank you for watching. We appreciate you joining our journey through the profound philosophy of Stoicism in daily life and pop culture. We will see you on the next one.